Yo, as always, like, share, subscribe. Now let's just get into it. So somebody wants to know about the depth at running back. So I'm going to run over the numbers from last year, and then I'm going to break down what to expect this year. So Charbonnet had 149 carries for 726 yards, 11 TDs. Charbonnet was the goal line back. He was the one we gave it to in the red zone. Hassan Haskins had 121 carries for 622 yards, 4 TDs. Haskins was the 20-20 back. So from 20 to 20, that's where he got most of his yards, and then Charbonnet would be the one to get it in the end zone most of the time. Now, Chris Evans is back. Chris Evans, we all know, got suspended, didn't play last year. So he will be back. I'm not sure what type of role, but Evans had, the last time we saw Evans, he had 423 yards. Christian Turner. Now, Christian Turner was in the doghouse last year. He didn't get many carries, but he had 44 for 171, which isn't good. He fumbled a lot and everything like that. So then you got Blake Corum, who will be the new guy. The young dude, I already made a video about how I think he's a stud. You got him. Now, Giles Jackson will also be getting some carries out of the backfield to change the pace, speed. And I would expect Sandra Steele and Giles Jackson are probably going to get some passes and get to do some reverses and things like that. So that counts as running game. But for the running game, I'm probably looking for Hassan Haskins to be the starter, to be the bell cow. And then, Charbonnet will fill him in. They'll probably be back and forth, and whoever gets hot will get the most carries for the game. But I'm not sure how Chris Evans will get put in there, because Chris Evans can also catch out of the backfield. So he'll probably be a change of pace back also. When you're trying to get a little more speed. That's if Blake Corum hasn't grasped the offense and isn't getting carries right away. So I'm looking for that. I'm also looking for Ben Mason. Ben Mason is still on the team, right? He's the fullback. Let's use him. Last year they messed up in taking players out of position. Let these dudes do what they do best. Ben Mason is a great blocking fullback. Let him do that. Whether it's once a game or whether it's 10 times a game, that's what he needs to be doing. That's what he's good at. So I'm looking for Ben Mason to be back in the backfield. If we got a 2-back set and one of the backs is a blocker, let it be Ben Mason. When we back in the I formation, Ben Mason. Let him do what he does best. I understand you want to get dudes on the field. You think we're not going to use a fullback as much. But that's still what he does best. That's what makes him special. He's a great fullback. It's just what it is. But they need to use him. And if it's not him, what was it? Ben Summerin? I'm not sure how you say his name. But those are the dudes out of the backfield. We have a loaded backfield, honestly. Between these five backs, actual running backs, Charbonnet, Haskins, Evans, Christian Turner, and Corum, we're loaded at back. Now we'll see who actually can become the bell cow and the guy that we can trust on to get tough yards. And when it's a 4th and 2 or a 3rd and 4, and we can trust him to be able to get those yards, and not only have the vision consistently, but to also punish people and put that intimidation factor, that physicality. So by the time the 4th quarter comes, they don't want to tackle him. Now we're gonna see who that dude will be. Because we got a lot of dudes on here, but what? Charbonnet had 700 yards. Haskins had 600 yards. We want to get somebody to 1,000. I think Higdon was the last dude to get 1,000 yards. So we want somebody to have 1,000 yards. Because if you get up there, we know that's consistency. That we're actually having a dominant running game on everyone. Not just this team or that team. Last year it was spotty. And I probably knew it would be because last year was supposed to be Shea's year to lead the offense. But it was spotty because he was so horrible that we had 8 in the box half the time. So Charbonnet was getting killed earlier in the year. But with that, who will be the bell cow? Is it Charbonnet, Haskins? I don't know who. I just need somebody to do it. Because Charbonnet and Haskins are very similar. Like, they're similar backs. And I had hope in Christian Turner, but he can't fumble and he can't pick up blocks. And so with all that, like, we might have a favorite back that we like, but if he can't pick up blocks and stuff, he ain't gonna be in the game barely. That's just how it goes. So like Christian Turner, if he can't pick up blitzes and stuff, he ain't barely gonna get no carries. Chris Evans, he's not the greatest pass blocker, so we'll see about them. I know Haskins and Charbonnet, they're good blockers. That's why they're gonna get carries because they can come in and pass block. They're somewhat complete. They just don't have the speed to take it 60. But Blake Corum, where he comes in, I'm looking for him to be that dude that in the future becomes our complete back. He might be a complete back now. We just don't know it yet. This is all speculation because he's a freshman. But he might be complete now. But that's catching out of the backfield, pass blocking, vision, strength, and then that breakaway speed. We ain't had a complete back that can do all those in so long. And I talked about that on my video about Blake. So I'm hoping that he can be that dude or at least fill in that speed because we don't have that dude that can take it 60. Chris Evans, if he still got his speed, he can go 40, 50, maybe 60 yards sometimes if it breaks down right. But I'm talking about that real breakaway speed. That's why you see us trying to use Giles Jackson and Sanders still out of the backfield and stuff because they have more speed. We're trying to get that breakaway speed because we don't have anybody that has it like that out of the backfield. Honestly, I thought Christian Turner was going to be that dude that would be complete because he somewhat looks the part. But vision and he can't pass block and he fumbles. That fumbling is really what took all his carries away. Because if you can't pass block, you can still get some time. But he fumbled like 2-3 times. And after you fumble 3 times, it's a wrap. You ain't getting no more carries for the rest of the year pretty much. So that's just what it is. But we have strong physical backs. Do we have that speed where we can, when a defense makes a mistake, say goodnight. He gone 60. He gone 70. He gone 80. He gone. There ain't no catching him. And that's what we missing. Now, hopefully with Dylan or Joe, we'll have more rushing yards out from the quarterback. Because I think Shea only had about 100 and some yards rushing. So if the quarterback is also a bigger threat, it'll open up the running game even more. And also, if he's actually able to complete passes downfield, that'll open up the running game even more because we got a lot of new dudes on the offensive line. I really should have talked about that first. We got a lot of new dudes on the offensive line, but we'll see. That's a wait and see. We won't know until they get out there how good they will be. But that's what I got on the running backs. We got a deep running back. We got a deep backfield. But do we have anyone that has that breakaway speed to give us something we didn't have last year? So, like, share, subscribe. As always, go blue.